4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on? BW Sports One World, the Dukes are live. What is happening, my brother?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Just soaking in all this good preseason and training camp football. That's about it for the one, since I have basically put basketball on the back burner because it is football season.
It is. It changed pretty quick this year. It felt like it was not much of a break, obviously. And line them up.
No, the hat was making me look all weird looking.
I don't know if that's the hat.
Got a point there.
You opened the door on that one. I had to step through.
I did.
No, hey, I'm liking your shirt.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice shirt. You know what I mean?
Is. I can't wait to wear it this Saturday.
Oh, I'm tearing up shit.
The mic stand.
I'm tearing up shit. So what the hell's been going on, bro?
Oh man, well, been a little bit busy on the combat sports realm of things lately. You know, a couple fights coming up, but this is football. It's football season. We're finally here. Yes, preseason. Like you said, preseason and camp football right now. But the feeling of being on the gridiron is back, baby. We are only a mere couple weeks before we really unleash on the gridiron scene.
Hey, I hear you on that. And since you mentioned it, well, I guess we'll throw those dates out real quick for the people. September 25th. It's a Wednesday. Yes, August 25th. I'm moving ahead. August 25th is our NCAA kickoff show. So we'll discuss, conferences. We'll damn well know we're going to talk about this super conference. And we'll probably mention the fact that I did say something not too long ago about there's going to be an intermediate league in between the NFL and the NCAA, and it appears it's going to be the SEC.
Well, the Pac-12, what was it, a year or two ago, started doing their movements to do their own little conference or whatever it was, as far as the California, the West Coast deal.
Yeah, and that was shot. That went down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, but now, like you said, you got these powerhouses up, and they're ready to roll on their own. And they're adding teams to it. Obviously, what was it? Oklahoma and
Texas. But we're not gonna get too deep into it. We got to save some of that, man.
Right.
But yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of changes, and your school is again the key. Is like, I don't know how you could describe it, what Notre Dame's place in this is, because they are really the only independent school left. Pretty much all of the other independent, I think it was BYU and blah, blah, blah. Pretty much all the rest of the independents in football have gone to a conference. No, you could say Notre Dame's in a conference because they play an ACC heavy, but they're not in a conference.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss the pros and cons of them getting in the conference and staying out of a conference. Right now, I don't see a whole lot of pros of them going to a conference because they're still getting in the national championship conversation. They're still getting into the playoff, might be getting their ass whipped, but they're getting in the playoffs, and they have their own TV deal. Why would I share a TV deal with anybody?
Right. Well, in my opinion on that is real quick, if you are good enough to keep the NBC contract, by all means, why do move to a conference? However, you have to be good, people. You can't just always be that, oh, we almost did it, or Oh, we made it, but we got our ass beat, like you said. You got to step over the hump.
I mean, you could say that about a whole bunch of other schools, but Notre Dame had that NBC contract when they was winning 3 games. So I don't see it going anywhere.
I remember it was a few years ago we really sucked, and there was a couple games that were not aired on NBC, like Air Force game, I think, and hell, they probably beat us that year.
I mean, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Who wants to watch Notre Dame Air Force? Maybe Notre Dame Navy, but Notre Dame Air Force. But it's a nice little cup you got there, buddy.
Mm-hmm. It should say BaumBurgers on it. Soon, I think they're getting some apparel and all that for BaumBurgers. But hey, 7960 US 31 South on the south side of Indianapolis. Go get your BaumBurgers because they are the bomb.
And what do they have going on with the Dukes later on this month?
Well, since you asked, I must tell. So they are giving away from August 1st to August 31st. You have your chance to enter in a drawing for a pair of Colts home opener season tickets against the Seattle Seahawks. Go into 7960 US 31 South. Take a copy of your receipt or drop your receipt in, write your name and your contact information, drop it in the drop box. And September 8th, the last Duke show before the regular season kicks off, we will be drawing for a winner. And the game is that weekend, September 12th.
Yes, and what he mentioned was the Duke show. We have 2 other shows, special shows outside of the NCAA, which will be our NFL kickoff shows broken down in 2 parts. We'll do the AFC on September 1st, and we'll do the NFC on what's vice versa, whichever one. We'll do the conference on September 8th. So, and those days when September 8th will be when you will find out if you were breaking news for that game, the Colts and Seattle Seahawks, Carson Wentz and their right tackle are left tackle. Yeah, the important tackle.
Right, the blind side.
Yes, they are expected to be available for game 1 of the regular season. So I guess I can stop talking about Nick Foles now.
Which is very interesting and intriguing coming out just a week after, they both need surgery. Kind of lost on that.
Yeah, whatever.
Sounds like a lot of smoke and mirrors going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I know they just re-signed Frank Wright and somebody else to 2026?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. So, way to go. All right, that's enough for the Colts. All right, so I guess let's move on into it unless you got something else.
No, I'm ready for some I'm ready to jump into Tornado Alley.
Tornado Alley, Tornado Lane.
Damn it.
Whatever we want to call it is where the Indiana Tornadoes whirl around and destroy all their opponents.
Every time I think of tornado, I think of the Wizard of Oz.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I think of a tornado, and I've not seen not single one of these movies, I always think of Sharknado.
Wow.
And I haven't seen not one of them.
I have not seen those. I have seen Twister. That's a decent
great movie, though. Great movie. Great movie.
Bill Pillman, I think.
All I know, it felt like the tornado was after them
the whole time. But yet, they were chasing it.
Right. But they had a vendetta. I don't know. Tornadoes was fighting back. But the reason why we mentioned the Indiana Tornadoes, your good friend, Dan DeLion, and myself, the one, will be at Beech Grove High School this Saturday, 6:30, tip-off time for the first playoff game of this season for the Indiana Tornadoes. And it just happens to be family night.
Family night. That's right. We're bringing back some good old fun stuff at halftime with the Lion Says. There'll be, some family. I think they're talking about face painting and some other stuff. You probably meet and greet with the players and stuff like that. So come on out to Beech Grove High School. Join us. We'll be in the booth, and I'm looking for the cookie lady.
Cookie
mom. I'm gonna call her Cookie Mom.
Cookie Mom, because those snow globe cone ball whatever, they were all good.
Those were good. They were tasty.
So we're good. Very tasty. So make sure, if you can, come out to Beech Grove High School. The scorching Indiana heat will not be there this weekend. After tomorrow, it's going to knock down just a bit. So it's going to be a comfortable evening to enjoy some good semi-pro football. Bring your families out. And most of all, bring your third down keys.
Yes,
please.
We want to hear that place jingling like hell when we say third down.
Jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby. Jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby. Oh, my bad. I went back to before you were born.
Yep.
All right. So let's keep this train moving. Let's talk a little bit about the NCAA. I just wanted to have something to talk about with the collegiate fellas. It's not always about the NFL guys. You got to look at the young guys who is trying to get up, but there's not a lot of football going on in the college realm. Obviously they're in their programs and getting ready for their season to start. I think it's the first week of September. No, it actually starts the weekend of our college show. So those are going to be good. There's actually some pretty good marquee matchups that I did notice. We'll talk about those when we hit that college show. Y'all got like 3 or 4 big games this year. So it's going to be pretty key. But the thing that I like to talk about today, let's do a little history. Both of these categories that we're going to talk about today has a little to do with a little bit of history and a little bit of suckiness that has been happening in certain places. So first off, let's talk about there's been a change.
Of course, this would be your first topic.
Man, there's been a change. Well, we've been on top for a while, so it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the shift. So I want to know, do you know the 9? Okay. Trivia question. I probably should have put it up earlier, but I was nursing a headache. But do you know, let's say 5 of the 9 winningest programs in college football?
I do.
I know you know 3.
I do. I can go down the line. I'm pretty.
Do you know them in order?
Yes, I do.
Or because you looked it up.
Well, of course. Starting with number 9, you have the Nittany Lions of Penn State. 902 wins, 398 losses, and 41 ties. I can't stand ties. I think they should abolish those completely. But it is what it is. We'll talk about that on another topic.
The ties in college football is like is like the breakaway foul in basketball in the NBA.
Yeah, I think the NFL foul. Yeah, the NFL needs to go away from it too. You can't tie it again. That's like
but it's much harder in the NFL to do it than it is.
I don't know. We've seen it several times over the past few years.
I guess. I don't know. I just think it's harder because we see it like a lot in college football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But and you speak about Penn State. A historic college. You know what I'm saying? They've been playing for a long time. They've been, what was the first season in 1887? So they've been playing football for a long time. But they've been at a high level for a long time. They did have a lull there. Even while Joe Pa was there, they still had a lull, but they were still winning games. Right. It wasn't too often that they were winning, 2-3 game seasons. They were still giving you, 7, 8, 9 wins, maybe not getting quality bowl games, but they were going. I think the lowest.
A very tough conference too.
Yes. But Penn State was what's name before they jumped in the Big Ten. They were independent.
Independent.
Yeah, their football team was independent before they jumped to the Big Ten.
Gotcha.
So and that was one of the reasons why they were moving, because they weren't winning games. And then you had the issue with Sardesky or whatever the little toucher dude was, that kind of put a big hurt on their program.
Yeah.
But their coach now, whoever they got, I can't remember his name, but he has built that program back to what we have known as kids to what Penn State has been. So yeah, Penn State at number 9. I agree there. Nebraska at number 8.
Historical program. You know, you think back to the mid 90s, especially they were the Big 12 team.
Yep.
You had to go through Nebraska in a lot of parts of that, in a lot of parts of those seasons in there to do anything. Talk about a bowl game. If you beat them, that was one of the highest points of your season.
Yeah, at that time they were Pac-12, not Pac-12, Big 12, and they were the powerhouses. You know what I'm saying? Oklahoma was at that time. Nebraska, Oklahoma was kind of after their couple Heismans. Well, I forgot who the names were, but Nebraska has kind of stepped up, and then Texas turned back around, and so Oklahoma went down, and Nebraska jumped ship. You know, and went to the Big Ten. You know, kind of strengthened the Big Ten a little bit, but it also kind of weakened because when they came there, you know what I mean, they didn't have Tommy Frazier no more.
They found they were playing defenses against them in the Big Ten.
Yeah, playing defenses that were designed for their type of play. You know what I mean? The Big Ten and the Big Ten is the only conference that has not really as a whole adjusted to the fast-paced offenses that we have now. You know what I mean? OSU has obviously done it. Minnesota's working on it. Penn State has transitioned a little bit, but you know what I mean? That pound and bruiser thing only works in the conference, but when you come out the conference, you're getting aired out because these guys is moving. Yep. So Nebraska's pretty good. What was that record? 905 and 399 and 41 again.
Yep, that good old 41 tie.
And then speaking of, we got the Sooners. We got Oklahoma at 6.
Tied with Yale.
Yep. With Yale. See, that's the one that I don't think people would have ever gotten.
Right.
I mean, Yale been winning games for a while. I think Yale was the first football game. Wasn't it Yale and Rutgers?
I want to say yes. That sounds very, very correct.
I mean, 1872. So that's the number right now for Yale. Oklahoma, obviously, Oklahoma is what Oklahoma does. I think Oklahoma is the school with the most Heisman Trophy winners, isn't it?
I believe so. That sounds correct.
Maybe USC.
No.
I'm gonna hang out with Oklahoma for a minute until we're
that might be right. I think you might be right on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds right.
It sounds right because they put up 3 in the last 5 years.
5 years, yeah. Yep.
And then they had one guy. No, he was at that other school. Never mind. And then so number 5, which kind of hurt me a little bit because you were number 2 for so long, and you dropped to number 5, Notre Dame.
Yep.
918. 328 and 42. You have a 72% winning percentage.
Now, Notre Dame is tied with Alabama and Ohio State for the highest winning percentage in college football history with 73% of its games. However, over the past few years, well, not past couple, but within the Brian Kelly era and before, in between him and the wonderful Lou Holtz, we've had some treacherous years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was
bad.
The
beginning of Kelly's thing, it's like
it was bad. I still say everybody has a curse in my eyes. Right now, Notre Dame has the Lou Holtz curse. Man. Sorry, that's just how I feel.
I'll call it the booster's curse.
The booster's curse. So yeah, I'm a little surprised by the Notre Dame thing. But I mean, y'all put up 10 win seasons the last 3 years. So I think you're getting back on track. Not sure when you'll be able to jump the hump and get that national championship again because of the style of play of the teams that you have to play. And frankly, I mean, I just said, and this is a problem that my school has. I mean, it's cold up here, bro.
Yeah,
It's
you get
cold up
into
here.
October and past it, it's a toss-up of what kind of weather is going to be hitting.
It's cold up here. You can't be flashy up here, bro.
Yeah. You got to stay warm.
And
And
some of
both of
these,
us have that lake effect.
yeah,
That don't
and
help anyway.
no. And some of those southern players, man, they don't want to come north. They don't have to come north no more because you got these powerhouses down south now. So let's finish this out. Number 4, you got Texas, which actually pissed me off that they were above you.
They've had a couple years where they've been, again, 10-2, 10-3. They're up there again.
And I'm gonna have to look into that because I still think they're underachieving. I still think they're completely underachieving, and it's not going to get any better with them jumping ship to the SEC.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. They've been underachieving for a while now because everybody's talked about how every beginning of the season, Texas this year, they got the team. Well, they flop every time.
Year.
They might beat Oklahoma, but they'll lose against like Texas Tech or somebody like that where they shouldn't lose, and it just throws their whole season off.
Their thorn would be the Horned Frogs, and their president really brought that apparent in the press conference or the hearing that they had with the conference. So just like, oh yeah, by the way, you're only 3-12 against the Horned Frogs. Went right at them, but and then didn't even give them a chance to respond. Just kept on going. I think what else did she say? Say, oh, you just rather get beat by Alabama instead of TCU.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma has the better transition. I think their team is set up and the way they play can transition better and win quicker in the SEC than I think Texas can. Tied at number 2, we got who's just been killing everybody the last Nick Saban years. Alabama at 929, 331, 43, and they're tied with that school in Ohio. At number 2, and both of them have a 730 winning percentage, which just now, I think over the last 2 years, jumped Michigan as the highest winning percentage in college football. So, and I blame Harbaugh.
Wholeheartedly.
But anyway, no, I can't do that because you got to put Rich Rodriguez in there.
Well, yeah.
And you got to put Brady Hoke in there.
Which one would you have rather kept around?
Rich Rodriguez. No, it's clear. So, yes, both of those schools are tied in second. OSU has always been, in that conversation, just on the outside of winning this program, winning this percentage. They've always been on the outside of these 2 schools, Notre Dame and Michigan. But over the last, 10 years with Tressel and Meyer and now the new guy, they've kind of just been on a consistent 10, 11, 12 game winning streak. And it's kind of improved their percentages. It's improved their wins. But there's nothing you can say about Alabama. Alabama just does what Alabama does. They had a longer drought than most people think they did.
Yep. But since that drought, it's
because after the Bear, Alabama was looking pretty bad. Alabama, and then Alabama was good again. It was like, I don't even remember Alabama being good before they were good.
Forrest Gump era.
Yeah, so that would have made me 3, 2, 1. Because that was the late 60s.
Yeah. Negative something?
Negative. But they had a low too. They had a 15-year low or something. I think so. That was pretty exciting. And then who you have at the top, all-time winning this program, regardless if we've been sucking forever since 2004. Really, technically 2004, but we've been sucking forever. But we are still, out of all the ass whoopings that we've taken from OSU in the last 15 years, we are still the winningest team ever.
I will throw this in, sir. Your winning percentage is at a 727 percentage. Notre Dame's is at a 729. We're still got you on that. I'm holding on to anything and everything
cool.
I can.
I'm cool. Just like we're still being mentioned.
Well, maybe we'll get into that drought. We'll break the drought of our rivalry.
And like in what, 13 years?
No, I'm hoping it's rekindled here soon. There's been talks, very preliminary talks, of potentially within the next 5 years. So hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Holding on for dear life.
Hold on for dear life. All right. Last thing with college football, real quick. What happened? The question is, what happened to some of these schools that happened to be on that list for the winningest program? They came out with a tier system, 1, 2, 3 tier system of schools that haven't had any national championships in the last 15 years. So tier 1 would be the closest school to becoming a powerhouse again, and they got Georgia as the only school in there. Now, you ask why Georgia is in there, because Georgia hasn't won any national championships in the last 15 years, and they have been underachieving regardless in the SEC, behind Florida, behind Alabama, behind Auburn, because all of them have won national championships. So, except for Georgia. So, and they've had players, they've had teams, they have guys go highly drafted, they have great NFL teams. They just don't have the coaching to put it all together.
Yep, I agree. Obviously, something needs to be done down there if they're wanting to continue on.
Right.
Because the SEC is just getting tougher.
Yes, it is. And the tier 2 are schools that are, again, trending in the right way, but just keep having issues that keep them from getting to where they need to be. Obviously, Texas, we talked about them. They keep being highly talked about. High-profile coaches coming in there, and it's just not working out, along with Texas A&M and UCLA. Both of those guys got the high-profile guys, and they're just not winning games, but they're supposed to. So
then you got, Florida's kind of kicking back in there. Notre Dame's stuck in that position because they just can't put their foot over the hump. And then you got, North Carolina. With Mac Brown down there, moving from Texas, took a couple years off. Now is in North Carolina. He's definitely establishing that program to be something big here soon. I'd say they will potentially be very high up in the ACC rankings this year and moving forward.
Along with the other 2 teams mentioned here too, with Herm Edwards completely revamping the Arizona Sun Devils, Arizona State Sun Devils. And then Maryland. Maryland has been a thorn in a lot of these big teams in the Big Ten in a minute. So Maryland, look for the Terps to go back to some of those early years when they were. But here's the group that concerns me. The tier 4, the lost glory schools is what they call them. The lost glory schools. And we have –
who's in there?
Let's go. Miami, Michigan, USC, Nebraska, and Tennessee. All of these schools have always been good, have always been in the national championship conversation, have always produced. But lately, all they do is run their damn hardball mouth.
There's another one in there that really sticks out to me. The LSU Tigers.
Well, it can't be. They've won a national championship in the last 15 years.
LSU and Arizona State are on here as a 4th tier.
Right here, they got Miami, Michigan, USC, Nebraska, and Tennessee.
I don't know. Well, there's some difference in discussions here.
Yeah, because I'm on ESPN and so are you. So who wrote the damn article?
Good question. No, I don't. But just to name those ones that you talked about, I mean, there's teams in there that they should be better. They should be in contention every year, and I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, some of them, I have opinions on that we could probably talk about on the 25th of August at our college preview show, but I don't want to get too deep into it right now. We just wanted to mention it and discuss that real quick because there is issues involved in NCAA. Now, My question is, and I'm going to leave this part with this, maybe we'll dive into it a little further on the 25th. Is the money deals posing an issue for these tiering of programs?
I doubt it.
Oh, money's got something to do with everything.
No, because not really, because Miami and Michigan and USC lose football games, but they're still 3 of the highest selling apparel worldwide. So I don't really think money really has anything to do with it.
Money's got something to do with it somewhere. Somewhere.
That's man. All right, there you got it for the NCAA chatter for today. I think right before we get into this football, we have, I think, one more thing we have to discuss, but I guess I'll do this first.
That is right. Elite performance, where the dream of elite fitness becomes a reality. And we have another powerlifting competition coming up September 18th at the new facility of Elite Performance just around the corner from where they are. Check out all the information and register at eliteptindy.com today. All right. I'm getting the head nod. Looks like
I'm doing my neck exercises.
I see. I get you. Well, we're moving from the amateurs to the professionals.
That is true.
You like how I did that?
I mean, the technically amateurs. All right, so we're not going to give you a whole bunch of football NFL junk today. We're just going to talk about what was going on in the last few weeks. And then that's it, because y'all not getting nothing football listed until we're ready to give you the guts and the glory. So we had the Hall of Fame inductees in this past weekend in Canton. The thing that stuck out to me the most of the Hall of Fame weekend, and it wasn't the fact that even though it was preseason, Steelers get to beat up on anybody Cowboyish. That had nothing to do with it. It all had to do with the Hall of Fame speeches, man. Did Peyton give his commissioners what I mean, I don't know what the word is.
There's definitely a future for Peyton Manning in the National Football League somewhere.
Hey, Roger better watch out. Peyton's coming for that job, bro. Because I was inspired. You know what I mean? I was ready to go play some football.
I mean, it's no secret that Roger Goodell is not the most liked commissioner ever of the NFL. A lot of players definitely respect and admire Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a great individual. He's done stuff on and off the field for everything and a lot of people. Potentially serving his term.
I just like the fact that Peyton has always been about preserving the football legacy. This is our sport. We have to uplift it. We have to protect it, and we have to keep it, gradually moving forward. Roger Goodell is a businessman. You know what I mean? I get it. The NFL is a business, but this is he's a businessman. What is to say if a former player, because I don't think we've ever had a commissioner that was a former player in any sport.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I mean, so what? I mean, Why not have somebody who played the game, that truly understands the game, lead the game?
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. 100% agree that could be one of the best eras of football that we would ever witness, if not just Peyton Manning, but if somebody who had played through the program, through the system, moved up, moved this, moved that, was put over it. I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. So that was the biggest thing that stood out for me, Hall of Fame weekend. But the second biggest thing that stood out for me, Hall of Fame weekend, was the induction of the greatest Michigan Wolverine of all Wolverindom.
I'll give you that.
No discredit, Desmond Howard, dude. You badass. You know what I mean? There've been so many, hard to say, but he's the best. Well, damn, Tom, but no, because Tom wasn't that great when he was at Michigan. Because remember, he was a 7th round pick, and he was behind. He was a backup. So we'll say that the Charles Woodson, greatest Wolverine ever.
I'm not discrediting that at all.
And when you can continually wear an ascot on national TV and get no flack from the black community, you are the man. That's all I got. And then my Steelers, Palomalu, Coach Cowher, awesome. So it was a good weekend.
That was cool to see Bill Cowher get the notice on air. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you're doing this right now?" He goes, "Well, I can walk." He's like, "No. I'm gonna hold you here. I want to hear this."
So yeah, and Jimmy Johnson. I mean, I know he was a Cowboy, but I was a fan of Jimmy Johnson because he stood up to Jerry. You know what I'm saying? So I was a fan, and
as much as I hated him in Miami on the college scene, and then obviously in the NFL scene, I got to give nothing but respect to him. He was one of the greatest coaches.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that for the Hall of Fame game. I mean, I guess we could talk about the game. The end result, it was preseason. Hell, I think 4 starters played. The Cowboys have to address their defense.
Absolutely.
They're going to have to address their defense. I was actually pretty impressed with Pittsburgh's backup defense. But I still think they're third in that division. But here we go.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I want to throw out there is turnovers. Dallas, if I don't care who's out on that field, you can't lose the ball 3 times in a game and expect to do anything in a win. You got to cover that ball. You got to protect it. And that's any team, but I mean, they dropped it twice and then threw an interception once. There's 3 you can't have. Yeah,
the interception was bad too. I saw it coming. I was like, don't throw. Oh.
He threw it.
He threw it.
Not hurt my feelings by any means.
So no, not at all. But let's go get it. All right. So that's pretty much all we got for you today. No, there was something else. Aaron Rodgers press conference. God, that was the funniest shit that I've ever seen. I've never seen a player just go at the team so smooth, just like I think they didn't know he was talking about him until it was over.
I don't know how you wouldn't know that he was talking about him. And I got a double-edged sword here. For one, I like and respect him in the manner that he is. He's protecting and stepping up for his teammates on that aspect. I see that and I agree with that to an extent, because on the flip side, you're a player. You're not part of the management team as far as the general manager. You're not part of the ownership. You are a very, very high key player that maybe should have a little bit of insight on the team. But as far as there's certain things going, I mean, he elaborated on a lot of stuff. That's not your job.
I think he did absolutely right on both sides, because he never said, I want to make the decisions. Just run it by me. You know what I mean? I've earned that right. And I think in a lot of job scenarios, they're valued employees. They do run it by it. Not to say that you're going to do what I say or do what I ask, but just run it by me. I mean, do you think Irsay didn't run shit by Peyton?
Maybe not everything, though.
but when it came to personnel, like especially on the offense, maybe not so much the defense, but if my quarterback is saying I want this guy, it's probably a good thing for me to keep that guy. Don't just ignore him. You know what I mean? If you're not going to keep him, at least listen to him and say, okay, well, I heard your side. We still want to do this. That's fine.
I'm not disagreeing with that part, but like the other side, when he was talking about the defensive personnel that were let go, it's like, man, I understand like where you're coming from. If it's a receiver or somebody protecting you or something like that, yeah, you should have a little bit of insight being who you are and the stature that you've given yourself over the years with that organization. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly on that. But as far as there's certain things, he does act like a drama queen on some things. My opinion. We'll agree to disagree. That's fine.
He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback. We had that conversation a while ago. Who's the biggest divas, quarterbacks or receivers?
Quarterback.
So, but no, I thought it was cool. And then what's so bad and what was so great about it, he goes out in training camp and he kills it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, we've seen very little right now that's matching his caliber on the field and in that position. I agree with it. And he is going to go into the Hall of Fame one day. But if you don't like your position with the team that you're currently with, do something because you have.
He did. He pulled
the trump card and got paid. Okay, but did you want paid or did you want out?
No, he didn't get paid. He didn't take that money. It wasn't about the money. He wanted to have a little more say in how his Hall of Fame career is going to end. You know, I don't think that's wrong for any player of his stature. You know what I mean? If it's, Pat McAfee, you probably don't get that. But this is Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to say if I want to retire here or not, or at least close to it. You know what I mean? Give me an option. You know what I mean? Don't just decide like Peyton had it. Tom Brady put it in his where he got to control the end. You know what I'm saying? All he wants to do is have this organization continue the winning ways that they used to. Stop just playing, Moneyball. That's what I think. But last thing that we got before the people, this is going to lead into our show for the 25th. It is our Carma Coin social media question of the week. The charitable cryptocurrency that gives away supercars and Teslas are on the way, baby.
That's
Tesla's
right.
It's my new favorite car of all time.
4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. They're doing the full sexy lineup if we get people to do this. For one, the S model is purchased and ready, okay? The 3 model, we need to get $2 million worth of volume in Carma Coin, and they will buy the 3 model. If we reach $5 million in volume, they will then purchase the X model. And then if there's 25,000 wallets in Carma, they will buy the Y model. Fast forward, shortcut to everything, retweet the sexy September thing on ours and get Elon Musk to retweet it for us. Boom, you have your chance to win up to $100,000 depending on your volume, your ownership in Carma, and all 4 models purchased and ready to roll.
And there you go. And that question for the lead up into the 25th show, who will be in the college playoff this year? Who will be in the college playoff this year?
Cannot wait. I cannot wait. The preview show is going to be awesome. Football season is almost here fully. Preseason, yes. I got to give props to Harold Carmichael for finally getting into the Hall of Fame for my Eagles. I loved it. I like seeing him. He deserved it. I had to throw that in there,
You were supposed to.
Right. I have to.
So that's what we got, folks. Hope that's on Saturday at the Indiana Tornadoes. home playoff game, family night, Beech Grove High School, 6:30 tip-off. Great games and prizes at halftime. Come out and have a good time. Also, you got us. August 25th, college football kickoff show, September 1st and September 8th. NCAA, God damn it, NFL kickoff show.
Boom. And just to let everybody know, there is something in the works for your stocking stuffers. I can't wait to introduce the world to this here shortly.
Yep, it's coming. Your stocking stuffers are going to be filled with tasty treats.
Ooh, I'm going to leave it dangling. Here.
Dangling.
Can you reach it? Ha! Not fast enough.
All right. Hey, tell the people where they can find what's happening with the network and all of his network friends.
All the stuff can be found at BWSPORTS1.com for all your happenings. Check out BWSPORTS1, Black and White Sports, Checkers and Wreckers, Super Kicking It with Steven, Quantum Inspirations with Monica P, Combat Zone with the Lion, and obviously the state of basketball is in a little transition time because it is football season now. And
we're going every 2 weeks. We're going every other week.
The state of basketball?
Yep.
Gotcha. There you go. All right. That's all I got, guys. Make sure. Oh, you know what? We're trying to really ramp up our Instagram and YouTube channel. All right. Help us out. YouTube channel BW Sports 1. Instagram is BW Sports 317 because we are from the Naptown. 317 is the original area code. I can't even remember what the new area code is. Don't care.
I forgot all about it. All I know is 812 and 219 and 765. There's another one. I don't know.
Right. But they're out there. Around here, this is the 317. BW Sports 317 on Instagram. Check out all the happenings on BWSports1.com. And as always, the one, the Lion. What do we do every day of the week?
Well, we try to stay as ugly as possible. No, we try to keep NE as sporty as we possibly can.
Pew pew!
Laser beams, sharks with laser beams on their heads.
Check out Sharknado. We're out. Peace.